This is Into the Multiverse with Josh Peck.
Biohacking is a thing now. It's an actual, real thing. We're not just sounding the alarms anymore. We're actually here living in a day where biohacking is an actual thing. Now, if anyone's familiar with Skywatch TV and Defender Publishing and all this stuff, you've probably came across materials, especially from Tom Horn. He's been talking about the transhumanist movement for years now. But you've probably come across this idea that at some point in the future, people are going to be editing their own genomes and their own DNA. And you know, I've looked into this too, and I've studied this for a while. We kind of all sort of thought it was going to be a government thing. You know, I think we all sort of had the idea that it likely was going to be like a government project, something like DARPA or any number of crazy organizations out there. But strangely enough, it's not. I mean, I'm sure that plays a part in it, but this is available to the public. Like, kids can just do this, like teenagers. I mean, like biohacking's the new punk. It's like a counterculture now. And it ranges too. Like the term biohacking ranges. Usually what we look at is the more extreme cases where people are actually editing their DNA and their genome and stuff like that. But they'll even say that like 3D printing of jewelry somehow and different artistic thing is somehow biohacking. I don't understand how that's the case, but economist.com did an article about that, and I'll put the link to that in the description below. But if you just Google biohacking, it's insane. Just go to Google, type in biohacking, and look at what comes up. It's like 10 ways to biohack yourself to a better life and to a healthier life. I don't know about that. Now, what drives this whole movement is the belief that biology is technology. And that's actually the title of a book by Rob Carlson, who is a do-it-yourself, a DIY bio pioneer. And it's the idea that DNA is a form of software that can and actually should be manipulated to design biological processes and devices. But, of course, some people worry that amateur laboratories could create, killer bugs or provide training for bioterrorists. It's actually kind of funny the way that this article says it. I want to put up a quote here. It says, "For the moment, at least, such fears seem premature." Well, that's comforting. "The amateur labs are not yet very sophisticated, according to a recent survey of 359 members of the DIY bio movement by the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars, a think tank. So the amateur labs aren't very sophisticated. So it'll be dangerous when it's up and running, but for now, it's not very sophisticated. It's like if you have a nuclear power plant and it's not very sophisticated and they're just kind of going willy-nilly about it, it's probably a lot safer." So rest assured, the labs aren't sophisticated yet, so it's fine. Most activities involve extracting DNA, for instance, from strawberries. Oh, well, if that's all they're doing, they're just making smoothies. Only 13% of the biohackers have synthesized a gene, and just 3% have genetically engineered a mammalian cell. Wouldn't one guy be enough? Just one person doing that? Wouldn't that be enough? And it says, the last line here cracks me up. "Since biohackers often have a PhD, they probably did this in a professional lab." Often have a PhD, meaning sometimes they don't. They probably did this in a professional lab. We don't know, but we're assuming that they probably did it in a professional lab. It's probably fine. So that just kind of cracked me up. I mean, of course, it's a serious thing because I mean this is headed our way now. This is in the culture now. People are doing this now. For years, Tom Horn has owned his own CRISPR-Cas9 kit. He obviously doesn't use it, but he just has it for demonstration and things to actually show people that anybody can just buy this stuff now. And there's a whole bunch of products like that. It's a crazy world we're living in. So we are no longer sounding the alarm for a future event. We're sounding the alarm for something that is here now. And actually, along those lines, a couple of people that have studied this extensively, we have Timothy Alberino and Darrin Geisinger in studio with us. So we'll talk to them. So biohacking is the new punk. What's going on with this? Tim Alberino, Darrin Geisinger. I would have had it. I would have it. Those are our special guests today for Into the Multiverse. It's weird hosting it from this side of the table. You've never been in the host chair before.
I have never been in the host chair.
How does it feel?
Powerful.
It doesn't feel like anything, Josh. There's nothing special about sitting in the host. I'm quite disappointed.
It's numbing.
Why do you think I'm sitting over here?
It's a numbing feeling. Yeah, he switched.
So this biohacking thing, there are people in the world, I think most of the country is oblivious that this is even a thing now. You can buy a kit that you can actually edit your own genes. You guys have looked
CRISPR-Cas9 kit.
Yeah, you guys have now looked into this more than I have, but though I'm in active research now. This blows my mind that it's already here, because just a couple years ago we were saying it's coming. Now it's actually here.
With less than $1,000, you can edit your own genome.
And people are actually doing this.
Yes, and these are non-lettered people. In other words, these are people who don't have degrees, a lot of them. Some of them do in the community, but they're citizen scientists. It's a global network of individuals who are using the power of CRISPR-Cas9 technology to modify their pets, to genetically modify their pets. It's very interesting, actually. There's a lot of glow-in-the-dark pets showing up.
Literally.
Modify their pets, modify medicine. It's called personalized medicine. So they'll make their own EpiPens. They'll make medicines that are custom designed for their own biology, and they're genetically modifying their own biology. There's all kinds of people who have already increased their strength.
How are they learning how to do this?
So one guy gave himself night vision.
Really? Like legitimately he's got night vision now?
Yes, he had an injection done into his eyes.
Oh.
Something genetic was done to give him night vision, a night vision capability.
And you said super strength, so there's somebody that actually has
there's an individual who has genetically altered his muscle composition, so that his muscles are, I believe, longer and denser. And this is happening, and this is the important thing. The biohacking community, this is happening in the garages, in the basements, in the living rooms of people's homes.
Totally unregulated.
And why I say and it's the important thing is because it's out of the lab and into the home, out of the lab and into the garage. In other words, out of the corporate control system and out of the governmental control system and into people's garages.
Wow.
And there's a growing community of dog breeders that are already editing out the genetic diseases in their pets and in the dogs that they breed, and it's happening at such a rapid pace. I mean, it's changing every few months. They're making advances, and the reason why this is happening is because what this is essentially is cloud-sourced genetic engineering. A lot of people are familiar now with crowdfunding, crowd-funded projects or crowdsourced projects on the internet, where you get a bunch of minds together and you put them together for a project. That's crowdsourcing a project, as opposed to one or two people racking their brains on something. You tap into the power of the collective. Well, that's happening on the level of genetic engineering, where people are coming up with these genetic concoctions, uploading the data to the internet, to the community at large, and it's accelerating the progression. So
that's how they're learning how to do this.
Of genetic engineering, upgrading basically the schematics of how to do certain things. It's like those who are familiar with the video game community. There's a community of modders. They're called modders in the video game arena, who take games and modify the games. And then they share their mods with other people who have the game, who can then download their mod and install it into their game. That's what's happening on the engineering level in terms of genetics, the genomic technologies, the recipes, if you will, of the mods are being uploaded, and the information is being shared with the community, the biohacking community at large.
That's insane. I'm usually more of a limited government kind of guy, but it's stuff like this that kind of makes me start to see aspects of the other side. What happens when these people who are doing this have their own kids? Does that get passed down?
It depends on what they're doing. I don't know It's limited right now.
Right.
The CRISPR-Cas9 kits that are being sold on the internet in the biohacking community. You don't have to apply with the university or with the government to get these. You can literally go on the biohacking websites, and there's several of them.
And it's totally legal. And
yeah, you can go buy it right now. You can go buy a CRISPR-Cas9 kit.
Tom has one.
For example, you can buy a CRISPR-Cas9 kit right now to brew glow-in-the-dark beer right now. Or to do other things. It's limited in scope at this point. So the concern for somebody to engineer to be able to engineer a new kind of pathogen is unlikely at this point. But as the technology expands, and it is already, it could get quite dangerous. But the same thing can be said for robotics. The same thing can be said for nanotechnology. And yet we're forging ahead with all of these technologies. So, but it's dangerous because some of the modifications that are going to be coming online and possibly are already available within the biohacking community will have inheritable ramifications.
Right.
They will. It's germline genetic engineering, or there's certain kinds of traits that you can modify, certain kinds of genes that will be inheritable. At least at this stage in animals, in dogs, for example, very popular among dog breeders now to looking at the biohacking community for fixes to their pets. This is becoming more and more mainstream. It's really not mainstream, it's underground, but it's becoming more widespread.
But prepping for that, I mean, has superheroes and mutants ever been more popular in cinema and TV? It's almost like the youth of today are programmed to see all of that and just assume that's where we're all headed. I mean, anybody who's popular or exciting or successful in TV or movies has had some modification of some feature to give them power.
That's insane. I remember when I was in high school, the big thing, to be cool or popular is if you got an earring or something, And I
now it's night vision.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine how tempting that would be? Because I remember I pierced my own ear in high school, hoping that it would give me some popularity, which it didn't. It was a total fail. But can you imagine how tempting that's going to be for kids who are already smart and ostracized because they're nerds? If they think, well, shoot,
I can go to the club glow in the dark. I can go to the nightclub and glow.
Yeah. They're putting implants too in their bodies, so it doesn't. The biohacking community isn't just genetics. It's basically utilizing the GRIN technologies.
Right.
In their developmental progression as they stand now. In other words, the genetics, robotics, artificial intelligence, and nanotechnology. And so there's a lot of genetic biohackers. And again, a lot of them are not university trained. They're autodidactic. They learned on the internet.
Yeah.
Just like I said, the reference to modifying games. Just like a lot of people have learned to become, they can almost make a game because they've learned on the internet how to modify. And so the genetic level of it is that's one aspect. But the other aspect is the cybernetic level. Of course, we know there's all kinds of people now who are inserting RFID chips into their fingers or into their hands to be able to access their car door or the door to their home or the door to their office without having to reach for keys. That's a thing now. And they're trying it with tattoos and stuff like that, but a lot of people are just getting the chip injected, RFID chip. That's a very simple level of biohacking that's becoming very popular. And it's not necessarily even that it's merchandise right now. It's here's the schematics of how to do this. And they go and do it themselves. And what's going to end up happening is you're going to get to a level where these guys are going to start making modifications that will begin to affect the brain activity. And things of this nature that will give them an edge in certain realms. Like you said, what was cool before was an earring or whatever that distinguished you. But now if you're an individual who has taken time to understand the way the technology works and you give yourself
night vision,
or you put a chip in your brain that allows that increases the efficiency of your neurons or something like that, which isn't far off.
Even just being connected to the internet.
Something like that, something that can interface with your brain. which is going to come out as legitimate merchandise in the future, but it's gonna develop quicker in the biohacking community. Some of these guys have already given themselves magnetic properties by inserting certain things into their body, so where their fingers are magnetic, they can pick stuff up with their fingers.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And
where is the fear in doing all that? The polls on this are fascinating to me. That well over 60% of under 30 want upgrades.
Yeah.
Chip me, upgrade me. They want
make it a little easier for me to pick up a paperclip.
Yes.
There's no
if I can just go like this instead of this.
even unimpressive. Thank you. I needed that pen too.
I know.
I'm making notes somewhere.
Well, if you were only magnetic, you could have pulled it across.
Even insignificant superpowers are still superpowers.
Yeah.
And so magnetic fingers would have been pretty cool in high school.
How would you type on a computer? It seems like it would just fry the...
I don't know. I don't know what the practical purpose for magnetic fingers are, but the point is that these are, and this is why it's the punk. It's like a punk movement. It is a counterculture.
Yeah.
It's a revolution.
And it appeals to younger people.
And what they're trying to do is to induce a revolution, a genetic revolution, a biohacking revolution, a cybernetic revolution, to get the technologies out of the labs and into the homes.
Wow.
On one sense, I can't help but admire that.
Well, sure.
But on the other hand, it's exceedingly dangerous and stupid on many levels because it's cool to glow in the dark, but the negative side of what kind of mutations might occur because you didn't really understand this aspect of it, and so there's a new kind of cancer suddenly, or some kind of other disease,
and it hasn't been long enough to see what those effects might be.
You are the test. You become the subject of a test that has never before been executed. So
that's insane.
What about the scripture that said that Noah was just a man and perfect in his generations?
Yeah.
How does that factor in? I mean,
right. Well, when you look in the Hebrew, it's not even just morality, but it's genetic as well. When you look in the Bible, it seems like something similar. Maybe
all
not
flesh,
by
all flesh became corrupted.
Yeah.
And it's just another accelerating factor in the hybrid age, in the impending hybrid age that's coming. And this is one way that genetic engineering is being accelerated on a grassroots level.
Yeah.
It's not just unfolding in the corporate labs or in the government labs. Now it's unfolding in the garage and basement of your neighbor's house.
It's crazy. And we're going to be the old guys trying to make the kids stop having fun. That's our role in all of this. It's crazy to think about. Well, you bring up the hybrid age. I think that's a good segue into the 2018 True Legends Conference.
Yes, right. This subject matter is right in right into the theme of our upcoming conference.
Tell us all about it.
Our conference, the 2017 conference, was a great success. People were extremely excited about it and wanted us to do another conference. And so Steve and I decided we will do another conference in 2018. We talked to Tom, and to our great delight and satisfaction, Tom decided that he was going to be a part of the conference.
That must have taken some convincing because he's going to be speaking,
Well,
isn't he?
what did it for Tom was we decided that we wanted to talk about transhumanism and those kind of topics, and Tom's been leading the charge on that for years. And so Tom, when Tom knew that was our direction, he was all in.
That's awesome.
And and Tom's the guy we wanted the most. For this conference to come back and do the conference with us, and so. We're going to be talking about transhumanism and the hybrid age at this conference. Last year's conference was kind of, it sort of revolved around the Genesis 6 affair, the Watchers, and all of that. This year, we are going to really get deep into the implications of transhumanism and the implications of the hybrid age. In fact, we're going to be inviting some people to our conference to speak. We've got some invitations out there now. We've heard back from some people. We're trying to reach into the secular arena, into some of the leading minds in transhumanism, in artificial intelligence, in robotics, and actually get them to our conference. And they may have opposing opinions. They probably will. These are not Christian people for the most part, but
we don't have to be threatened by that.
We're not threatened by it. and it's the reality of what's going on in the world. And so we're really excited about having these people at our conference. And we can't say who they are yet, but we will be. I will be speaking at the conference. Steve Quayle will be speaking at the conference. Tom Horn will be speaking at the conference. But we haven't really decided yet who the rest of the roster will be. Definitely some of you guys from Skywatch will be speaking at the conference.
But just having Steve Quayle and Tom Horn back together again for maybe the last time. We thought maybe it was last year, but one more shot. That alone is enough incentive, I think, that it's gonna sell out again. And I think Tim was probably going to touch on this, but all 3,000 seats at the theater mansion in Branson were sold out. So what we're hearing is do not wait until summer.
Right.
If you think you can wait until summer to sign up, that you're going to miss it, and don't miss it. So,
you're coordinating this whole thing, aren't you?
Yes, I am conference coordinator.
Good job.
I'm thrilled to be on board, and my wife Nicole will be helping that, but we are going to be the conference coordinator. So
fantastic.
We're thrilled and challenged.
Well, where can people go to register?
Gen6.com. GENSIX.com.
Yeah.
And the last conference, True Legends, the conference 2017, sold out in 3 months.
Right.
So, which is kind of unprecedented for these kind of conferences.
Especially being the very first one, totally untested. This is the first True Legends conference.
In a massive theater, like the Mansion Theater in Branson. By the way, where it's taking place is the Mansion Theater in Branson, just like last year.
Awesome.
It's taking place roughly almost identically the same time frame, off by a couple of days. The doors open for registration on the 13th
of September.
Of September, and the conference runs through that Sunday, the 16th. So. The 13th through the 16th of September 2018. It will be epic.
All right, and a big thanks goes to Tim Alberino, and Darrin Geisinger for their expertise on this topic. It's just a crazy world we're living in. Now, if you haven't had a chance to, make sure you subscribe. When you subscribe, because YouTube just wants to be difficult, you have to click on the little bell to tell it to notify you when we upload, when we upload these things. So make sure you subscribe to Into the Multiverse. We do these every week. Thursdays at 9 a.m. they come live, but we don't record them live, but they come live on Thursday at 9 a.m. So you should check it out. And actually, we might do some live videos. My wife and I, Christina, you'll remember her from the show, and she'll be back from time to time too. But Christina and I did a live video over Thanksgiving, and people seem to really enjoy that because they got to talk to us one-on-one during the actual show. Maybe we'll do some more stuff like that. But I want to know your suggestions. You guys have already helped us out a lot, get this show up and running, and you've given us a lot of really, really good suggestions. So I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about the new format? I happen to really like it, and the feedback I've gotten so far has been positive. So if you have any more ideas for the show, what you would like to see in the show, let me know in the comment section below. I would love to read your comments and love to have some correspondence with you. So until next time, take care and God bless.
The entire 2017 True Legends Conference is now available in an incredible 10-volume DVD collection, and Skywatch TV wants to help you save big with an incredible offer. We proudly announce the True Legends Conference Special. This amazing series of 2017 presentations includes shocking new evidence about biblical giants, fallen angels, ancient civilizations, the last days, and features unbelievable speakers like Dr. Thomas Horn, Steve Quayle, Timothy Alberino, Derek Gilbert, Dr. Michael Lake, David Langford, Henry Groover, and more. When you purchase this amazing 10-volume DVD collection from Skywatch TV, you'll also receive the incredible book, Unearthing the Lost World of the Cloud Eaters. Walk with legendary authors Stephen Quayle and Dr. Thomas Horn as they meet secretly with the leaders of the Hopi, Zuni, and Uti Nation tribes to learn about the pre-flood architecture of the giant kings. Learn why the ancient Anasazi disappeared overnight, who the dragon-worshipping giant invaders of early America were, and how they taught the natives ritual cannibalism to change their DNA into fit extensions for the spirits of dead giants. But that's not all. You'll also receive Derek P. Gilbert's The Great Inception. In this phenomenal book, you'll learn the startling connection between the mythological Titans, the biblical Nephilim, and the Canaanites, the true identities of Satan and Apollyon, why the Red Sea crossing was a literal battle between God and Baal, and so much more. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of $160. Yours now for only $119 plus shipping and handling. So don't miss your chance to relive all of the 2017 True Legends Conference presentations now on DVD. Order this incredible offer while supplies last. The True Legends Conference Special available at the Skywatch TV store. Order online or call 844-750-4985.